Welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is episode 188. I am Mox Born again. I have with me, it's my angel. How are you doing?
Cold, tired,
You're
grouchy,
always
full.
cold, tired, and full
I'm
of
not
shit.
always full.
Full of shit. We're here to talk about some you have one game you want to talk about. Life is Strange. A
I
whole
gave
bunch
you a
of
whole bunch of spoilers on that
whole
one.
bunch of spoilers. Overall feeling on the game and all that good stuff. Kind of like a review type of thing. Then we want to talk about some shows. Got a whole bunch of shows to talk about.
Okie dokie.
What do you want to start with?
It's up to you. The leader.
How about we start with? Let's start with Walking Dead. So, I think our guys are kind of being evil. And they even allude to it in the show.
Where the one girl says, "You guys aren't the good guys."
Yeah, you guys aren't the good guys, and our group went in and murdered a whole bunch of people just because another group said, "Hey,
They're bad.
and they're taking half our food, so you need to go murder them." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll do it."
But we want half your food. So
But we want half
they
your
are
food, so now they've
doing the
just
same thing.
replaced Negan's group. So they went in,
Okay.
murder everybody. That was the last episode, right? This episode is when like on the other end of the walkie-talkie
Right.
with Maggie and
Carol.
So
Yeah, it is. They're definitely they're right at that line. I mean, they're really no better than anybody who followed the governor into attacking the prison.
right, this is very true.
The governor said, "Those guys are evil. They're going to do this and that to you." And so what they do, they went and attacked
killed
them.
Yeah, we'll try to
So,
kill him.
I mean,
This is very true. I didn't really think about that. It was
a similar situation.
yeah, almost exactly the same situation.
Yeah.
Sad face. Rick is the new governor.
Well, in that situation, I don't know that he was necessarily the governor. He was taking his cues from the Hilltop colony. The Hilltop was the one that told him that they were bad and to go kill them. Which they actually didn't even necessarily suggest taking him out. They just kind of told them the situation, and they're like, "Hey, we'll go kill him." So.
Yeah. Hey, we got this. We'll kill them. What did you think of I kind of like the episode because it took place in almost like a single room type of thing.
One little bunker.
One little bunker. I kind of like that. They were
It showed a lot of emotional, like what Carol and Maggie are going through emotionally, particularly Carol's character, who for the longest time seemed to be very shut off and just did whatever was needed. And now you're seeing that it's actually taking an emotional toll on her. And you could see the person who was holding her captive was very,
contrast.
very similar, but has emotionally shut down.
Right, she's divorced herself from I've stopped counting after how many murder 20 she said after it got to double digits.
Which is funny because we just saw Carol count it, adding up in
Trying
her
to
notebook.
figure out, yeah.
So, I mean, that was very. They didn't even try to hide the fact that there was a parallel there. It was
Yeah.
pretty much like, hey, it's in your face.
Right. And I think it's nice. I think there's still hope for Carol because she still feels. I think, and that's the difference between the two is this girl is, I can't remember what her name was off the top of my head. The redhead. She's very stone faced and not showing any emotion. And Carol can put on that mask very well, but you can just tell by she's kind of like a chameleon almost, where she can adapt to whatever situation's needed, and just play that role. Which I think is why she's such a strong character. I hope they don't get rid of her. I really don't. But I'm thinking I think Maggie's gonna be the next one to go. I really do.
I don't know. That'd be a pretty far departure from the book, but I don't know. We'll see.
Because I mean, I don't know. In talking, I'm basing this off of Talking Dead. Because anytime she was talking about Maggie,
You mean the person who plays Carol?
yeah, the person that plays Carol. Anytime she was discussing Maggie with Chris, and on the show, she'd always kind of look down, and her her whole like
Demeanor changed.
demeanor changed. But then when she talk about her character and like the rest of the cast and everything like that, she's like, oh, and she's upbeat, sitting up straight.
Well, and Lauren Cohen, the girl who plays Maggie, recently did just chop all her hair off, which is something that people are speculating.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And she's nowhere due. I mean, she's nowhere. I mean, close to being due. I mean, she says she was what, like 2 or 3 months along. So she's still got a hot minute to go. So that might mean
She's due like the same time I am.
Oh, da 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 da.
Yay.
Maybe we can name the baby Maggie.
I have a cousin, Maggie. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, that wouldn't work either.
No.
Yeah. But it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It kind of reminds me of the other reason why I think someone is going to die is because whenever they take like a deep dive into like these like one-on-one characters or two-on-one characters, it usually spells out like certain doom. It usually smells.
Like
I'm sure
doom.
it smells like doom. It smells like burning flesh. Oh
That
wait, that's
building
because
did.
now it does in the kill room. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I'm kind of excited for the next one. Only because they left off on such a like abrupt ending. Like, we're gonna shoot this guy and now we think Negan's dead, but he's not dead.
I think Carol and Maggie know, because I think Carol was it Carol was trying to stop him when he went to shoot him. I think she just kept saying Rick, like, because the other girls told them
That we're all Negan. Yeah. So. Well, yeah, that, and then they know, don't they know, isn't there, or no, they killed the people that were coming.
Yeah.
That's right, they killed the people that were on their way, so I think, so maybe Carol will fill them in and say, like, hey, that's kind of bigger now, it's bigger than what we thought it was.
Right.
So, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see where it takes off at. And now that they've, murdered some of Negan's groups, I don't know. I just feel like if Negan is that, if their group is that big,
coming.
yeah, if they're that big, they've got like, how have they not come across Alexandria?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just kind of boggles my mind. What other shows did we watch this week? We had Once Upon a Time. You want to talk about that for a little bit?
Oh, I'm trying to even remember what happened now. They're in the underworld, trying to
Hercules.
get back Hook. That's right. This one kind of went off on a Greek mythology tangent, where guarding the vault, I guess, or guarding the chamber where Hook is being kept is Cerberus, which is, the three-headed dog that guards the entrance to Hades. So this is all, Greek mythology. But we get to see young Snow meeting Hercules. He actually is the one who helps train her using a bow and arrow. So that's kind of neat to see how she came from this kind of scared little girl into starting to transition into the like warrior hero princess that she is. So that was kind of neat.
I think they did a good job casting the actor that played Snow White.
The girl.
Yeah, she looks very similar.
She does, and she's been in the show before playing young Snow, but
Has she?
she has. But yeah, her looks are very similar to Jennifer Goodwin. The intonation when she talks, like she's a good little actress. I don't know how old she is, but she does appear pretty young. But she really, I think, has studied how Jennifer has portrayed the character very well and followed through with that. So I really like that. But yeah, so we do get to see, like I said,
Well, they defeat Cerberus.
They do, with Hercules meeting Megara, who, if you watched the Disney version of Hercules ever, Megara is the girl in that show, and is also Hercules' first wife, if you know anything about Greek mythology. So, kind of interesting. Gone from Disney fairy tales, the witch, the Hansel and Gretel type thing, all the way to Greek mythology. So they really covered quite a bit of ground. It was recently announced that Once Upon a Time will be coming back next season.
Really?
So they have approved a season 6, I believe, is what will be next year, season 6. They haven't approved any beyond that at this point, but they have.
Just taking it one season at a time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What else did we? I'm actually I bit the bullet and started watching Gotham again. I stopped watching. I watched the whole first season because it's on Netflix. And then when it started back up a couple weeks ago, I was under the impression that season 2 was just beginning, but it's not. They were coming back from their mid-season um, break. So I was kind of like I was torn. Like as soon as I found out that like hey, I because we DVR'd like the second season after the break, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start watching it now on on the DVR from Netflix, and I queue it up or whatever. I'm like season 2 episode 13. Like what? Oh man! So luckily episodes 9 through 13 are on demand. But I was really hesitant to watch it because I'm like, there's so much that just like like season 1 ends with such a cliffhanger. Like Bruce just finds like the hidden door behind the fireplace in his mansion, and like his father's got the secret life or whatever that they kind of allude to with Lucius, and like the evil characters are really starting to like ramp up. Like you're starting to get like Scarecrow. You get like an origin story for Scarecrow, and I mean you can like the whole like Riddler thing has been ongoing. Like Riddler is such an amazing character. Well, I guess it's not really Riddler. It's Ed. I can't remember his last name. It's escaping me. Anyway, the guy that plays Riddler, he actually works for the police department as a forensics analyst, and like and it's hilarious because he just kind of gives like he does all these riddles or whatever to like the detectives and things like that. So like his character is almost perfect, and like they pick on him like crazy, and you can see how he goes kind of insane. And then like the last like 3 episodes of the first season, like he actually murders somebody by accident in self-defense, and it kind of sends him off in this like really weird tangent. And then him and Penguin kind of come together and form like a bond or whatever. And it's interesting to see these connections. So I started watching it in the middle of season 2, so I'm kind of sad that I missed like the first half of the season. But starting to get an idea with where Mr. Freeze is coming from. Penguin is now in Arkham Asylum, so they captured Penguin somehow. Um, my favorite, well, not my favorite all-time villain, but my favorite villain from the show is disappeared, which would be Fish Mooney. She's the one chick that runs one of the bars for Falcone, the mob boss. And basically, when she was trying to escape Gotham, when everybody was turning on her, she got picked up, basically got picked up by one of the doctors. I don't know. There's a doctor or something like that that operates on people and like does like all these like augmentations and shit like that, and like very questionable practice. Like if you like he's got people like underneath the hospital that he harvests like body parts from. So like he had captured Fish, and he's like, he goes, you know what the most he's like, you know what the most remarkable part of your body is? And she's like, my attitude or some shit like that. And he goes, no, your eyes. And she's really got really pretty eyes. Well, after like a long drawn out conversation, she quickly realized that this doctor was going to take her, like harvest her eyes. So she grabs a spoon and digs out one of her eyes and stomps on the ground. So yeah, that's hardcore. So he gives her a new eye because he's like, you know what, like I could really use someone like you, like your kind of devotion or whatever. So like, and she gave him the whole spiel about, you've had me as your enemy, now you should try me um as your partner or whatever. So like she does some of his dirty work, and eventually she escapes, but he gives her a new eye. But in the season finale, she gets back in to like she comes back to Gotham, but in the season premiere for season or the mid-season premiere for season 2, she's nowhere to be found, and I'm kind of sad because I think she might have been killed. Damn. So yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, Gotham, it's an awesome show. I really hope that they don't ramp up too fast and kind of like blow through this awesome like origin story. Like the origin stories are just so awesome, and just seeing where all these like characters come from, and like these villains and stuff like the villains. So I hope that they don't blow through it too fast. They haven't introduced Robin yet, which is good. I think that's a long way away. Let's leave that alone. What else is going on? Any other shows that we're watching?
No.
I think that's it. I've got a Better Call Saul on DVR that I need to watch. I haven't watched that yet. That's a good series. Excellent series. I think that's about it. You want to talk about Life is Strange?
Okay. If you haven't played it, I may give some spoilers. Although I'm probably going to try to stay fairly generic. I know we discussed it once or twice on here before already. But just to recap, you're a photography student. I get the feeling that it's like a high school, but it's like a boarding school, like
right.
boarding high school kind of thing.
Because there's dormitories and
there's dorms. You're 18, like you just turned 18. So at any rate, you originally lived in this town like a long time ago when you were little, and your parents and you moved far away. I'm not sure exactly where, but about 5 years ago, and you've moved back to go to the school. Your parents are still away, and you witness a girl getting shot in the bathroom, at which point you find out that you can reverse time.
Yay! That's convenient.
Right, it is, isn't it? Right at that moment, too. So anyway, it's 5 chapters long. I kind of wish there was a little more to it, but the story, I think, had gone where it needed to go, and it wrapped up well and timely and didn't get too drawn out. But basically, it's all, there's no quick time events or anything. It's all kind of text-based, making decisions. One of the bigger, maybe letdowns of the game, maybe? I don't know if it's a letdown or not, but all throughout the game, whenever you start a chapter, there's always like a warning, kind of. It's like this game is based off of choices and something like that. Everything you do, or every like choice you make, has a lasting effects in the past, present, and the future. Come to find out, as you play the game, regardless of how you played, there's 2 choices you have in the end. It's always the same 2 choices.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. I really kind of was hoping for a little more open-endedness, I guess. I don't know. I was reading a review, though, by somebody who was reviewing a lot of these types of games. It's kind of along the similar lines of, I think they were talking about Heavy Rain in this one. They were talking about Mass Effect 3, too, to an extent, which I haven't played, so I really don't have a whole lot of experience to say on that.
Heavy Rain was a lot of fun.
I would even say they didn't mention LA Noire in there, but I think that kind of might go somewhat in the same genre.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I was hoping for a little more deviation. But this reviewer was saying that this is the best of the type, and it was more about the journey.
Right.
And playing the character as you see her. So I guess I can see that perspective of it. And I haven't, of course, I haven't gone back yet to play any of the episodes, because you can go back and do just episode by episode. So I haven't gone back to see if you play one way, how do other events come out. But ultimately, it's the same.
The same 2 at the end.
Right. But overall, it was a good game. The story itself was good.
Well, that's why you
kind of twist at the end.
That's kind of why you play those types of. I mean, you don't play them for like the action. You don't play that. You play them for the storytelling.
But yes, good plot twist at the end. The last chapter was effed up. You really felt. I don't know. You felt.
Pulled on your heartstrings.
I was
kind
of scared.
Really?
I mean, it was spooky. It was creepy. You don't really know what's happening to yourself. You don't know where in time you are. You don't know if you are even in a time or if you're in a nightmare. You
Also, even if you're
really
awake.
no. I mean,
That's
you know
weird.
you've kind of passed out, but when you pass out, you have these visions.
Right, because that's what happens at the beginning. You have
Right,
that
right.
the dream of the lighthouse and the tornado and all that
Right,
stuff.
the visions of the future. So, it does get it does get confusing because you've created so many different timelines and like alternate realities, or you kind of it's easy to get lost in that, which is the sense that they were wanting you to have. I mean, they want you to feel immersed in the game and feel as if you are that main character, and I feel like they did a pretty good job of doing that. Soundtrack, I liked the soundtrack. I felt the voice acting was pretty decent. Graphics were okay. I mean, nothing like spectacularly amazing.
Yeah, I mean, for a downloadable game, I wasn't too impressed. The lip syncing was off at times, and that was something.
Very much so. There would be times where your character would be talking and the mouth would not move at all.
Right, and I don't know. That's kind of frustrating. In like in a game that's like very is
But
very.
Don't Nod, I think, is a pretty small.
I've never heard of them before.
Yeah.
This is the first game that I've played from theirs.
And it was a what, produced by Square Enix?
Yes, or I don't know.
They had something to do with Square Enix.
Yeah.
Sure I don't know if they produced it or what, but they had something to do with them. I'm excited though. There is talk of a Life is Strange 2
Square
coming
Enix.
out. Yeah. There is talk of a Life is Strange 2 coming out.
It got really good reviews. I mean, on Steam, it's a 10 out of 10. Metacritic, 4 out of 5. So I mean, it got favorable reviews.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I didn't care for was, and that didn't rope me in, was the graphics. I mean, like anytime that you were walking around and stuff like that looks fine. I like the interaction with when you could interact with items, like that was very cool and stylized. But like when they would go to the cutscenes, I mean, especially the one cutscene when Jefferson's up on the stage or whatever, and they're at the concert or whatever, and like
the party you were watching my game.
Yeah, and it's got like this strobe light going, and like there's some really bad clipping, and like you could tell.
I would say ignore that. It's a game for the story.
Right. Oh yeah.
That's my kind of I prefer that anyway. I like RPGs because of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I never get to finish them because I get stuck because I don't like to grind and level up.
Right.
So this is definitely more up my alley. I would really want you to play it though, so I can watch your playthrough.
I started it. I just haven't. I don't know. I don't know.
I want you to get into it. Especially, I want to see you play that last chapter because it is a total mind fuck. Like, it is. And I was by myself upstairs, and it was dark, and I was like,
"Where was I at?
God,
What was
you
I
were
doing?
down here doing something."
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, no, it was.
It's relatively cheap. We only spent like what, $16 on it or something like that. It was on
Between
sale.
15 and 20. Maybe?
Yeah, it's normally $20. I'm sure you can get it cheaper on Steam.
Yeah.
But
I also like that it gives you a percentage of like all the decisions in the game. That was something that's kind of neat after each chapter.
It gives you a percentage of what you chose and like what everybody else says that's played the game. That's actually
your friends too.
The analytics version of me really is like, oh, that's cool. Like, but didn't you say there was something like something, wasn't there like Save the Bird or something like that, and like only like 10% of the world didn't save the bird or something like that?
I don't remember.
I don't know. There was something where you were in like the minority. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
There were times I was in the minority. It's not usually it just depends on what. It just depends.
But cool. I haven't really been playing much. We've been playing. Actually, we broke out Rock Band a couple times last week. Rock Band 3. We need to get Rock Band 4. I know like every time we talk about Rock Band, we always bring up Rock Band 4. But I think it's kind of shitty that the new songs that they're releasing don't come out for the old system or from the old versions. It's all Rock Band 4 and on. But with Eli getting really into it, and like he's only 5, so he's not, he's on no fail mode, but he still has a lot of fun. And I don't know. We're still playing on the Rock Band 1 equipment, which is amazing that it has lasted us this long.
We got it for our wedding.
We did. Holy smokes. So I have someone that's interested in it at work. Maybe I'll sell it to him and put a down payment on Rock Band. I'll put a down payment on Rock Band 4. It's only $250.
Only.
So if I can get $100 for Rock Band 1 or Rock Band 3.
Who's gonna pay $100 for Rock Band 3?
For a drum set, guitar, 2 guitars, and a microphone in the game?
I don't know.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I was trying to think if there's any other games that are coming out that I'm interested in.
Life is Strange 2.
Fallout 4. We need to get back into Fallout too. I haven't played Fallout in a hot minute.
Yeah.
They got new DLC coming out. I think the new DLC, the Automatron's actually out now. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is. So, anyway. All right. Well, I guess that's it.
Quick podcast.
Quick
today.
podcast. So we'll be back next week.
A late start.
Yeah, we got a late start. We'll be back next week. We'll have we'll get some new topics in there, and we've got a Magic tournament coming up. So if you guys,
Is it really isn't it like a month away still?
yeah, it's about a month away, but still,
Okay.
it's coming
Alright.
up. So we got a Magic tournament. We just announced that we will be in the Blazing Room at Buffalo Wild Wings. So if you're into Magic the Gathering, want to play some standard, or not standard, we're not doing standard, we're doing sealed for the new set, Shadows over Innistrad.
Yay.
Totally excited about that. New vampires were announced today. New Oblivion looks good. Kind of sad about the Jace. The Jace does not look very...
No, I'm sorry.
No, he's not. I mean, he's just not. Ugh. That's okay. We got a werewolf planeswalker, and that's badass. Anyway,
you've got a whole podcast to talk about.
yeah. So we just recorded our last show yesterday, episode 11, Magic Vice and I, which is Mana Drained. You can watch that on the first and third Tuesdays every month. I'm trying to get Nick to go every week so I can stop saying the first and third because it's really annoying. At 7 p.m. Then we will be back actually next Wednesday at 8 p.m. I think I'm going to do some streaming tomorrow night. I'm going to do some Magic Online tomorrow night.
You need to play Life is Strange. You can stream that.
I guess I could stream that. Maybe I will. Okay, I'll stream. We'll stream some Life is Strange tomorrow, and then I want to play some Magic Online. I've got an itch. So yeah, you can watch us on twitch.tv/BC podcast during those show times. If you missed the show and would like to watch us, our archive is on youtube.com/72DPI online. That's for all the shows that we do. Yeah. That's it. Have a great weekend.
Have a good night.
And we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.